My sister chose a cult over me, so I exposed the whole thing. She cut me off for asking one question. Why is your cult leader banned from the US? Next thing I knew, I was blocked, ghosted, erased by my own sister. But what she didn't expect was that I wouldn't stay silent. 2 years ago, I would have told you my sister was my best friend. Not in a cliche family over everything way, but in a real deep bond way. We talked every day, shared inside jokes no one else understood, and leaned on each other through the worst of times. Then, she met them. It started when she joined a Christian leadership group, something that sounded harmless at first. She described it as life-changing, a calling and God's will. I didn't think much of it until the changes started. At first, they were subtle. She stopped returning calls as often, canceled family events at the last minute, began using odd phrases like kingdom obedience and spiritual authority. I'd ask simple questions like, "How's the group going?" And she'd go stone cold, "You wouldn't understand." One day she confided that the group had her sharing her darkest secrets with a random man in the program. No therapist, no clergy, just a stranger. And then they were told they couldn't date, as if someone else now dictated their personal lives. That was my first real red flag. Something felt off, but when I pressed her gently, asked questions like who the mysterious leader of the group was and why she couldn't legally enter the US, I wasn't met with answers. I was met with silence, or worse, defensiveness. Why does that matter? You're attacking my faith. You just don't get it. The more I asked, the more distant she became. It was like I was losing her in slow motion, watching her drift deeper into something that was changing who she was at her core. And the worst part? She didn't seem to see it at all. Then came the wedding. She married a guy she met through the program, a guy who spoke in spiritual riddles and bragged about God's favor in the form of luxury cars and sketchy business deals. I later found out they were both into what they call kingdom wealth theology, basically justifying greed and even fraud with the excuse that God wants me to prosper. Mortgage fraud, tax evasion, lies dressed up in Bible verses. At the wedding, the leader, the woman who controlled so much of their lives, was noticeably absent. No one spoke her name, no one explained her absence. And when I asked, dead eyes, silence, as if she didn't exist. I waited. I tried to be patient, but my heart couldn't take it anymore. So I sent my sister a text. It was honest, raw. I told her it was so hard to maintain a relationship when every meaningful conversation was shut down, when the only thing she seemed to want was my applause, not my concerns. She agreed to talk, but the call broke something in me. I started gently. I told her I was scared that this conversation would go the same way, me asking hard questions, and her deflecting. Her tone changed immediately. Are we going to rehash the past or talk about today? I should have known then. We were already spiraling. I brought up the leader again. Asked why she wasn't allowed in the US, why she wasn't at the wedding, why there was never any clarity. Her response, why does that matter? Over and over like a broken record. I told her it mattered to me because I was confused, because I was scared, because I missed her. She didn't care, or couldn't. So I said it. I'm done talking. I hope you have a great day. Click. A few hours later, my phone buzzed. It was a text. I'm cutting you off for a year. Please don't contact me until then. A whole year, just like that. I wasn't her brother anymore. I was a threat, an outsider, the enemy of her delusion. And that's when I stopped trying to protect her silence. I didn't go scorched earth. I didn't yell or fight. Instead, I told the truth. I started documenting everything. I reached out anonymously to watchdog groups, focused on cults I just refused to worship her captors.